Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Got a lot of fun stuff we're going to be talking about. The Olympics come to a close this weekend, so we've got our final Olympics stuff this weekend as well. And here are some real bumper stickers. These are not necessarily ones that I've seen, but they are funny. I've seen photos of them online. This one says, "Money talks. Mine only says goodbye, though."
That's true.
I started off with nothing, and I still have most of it left. Driver only carries $20 in ammunition. I love that one. This is a free country. How come I have to pay for everything? Driver carries only $10. Wife and kids have the rest. Couple of funny bumper stickers right there. Some silly stuff to chat about today, some special things going on this weekend, and much, much more on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. I'll tell you about the whole darn weekend. Saturday, August the 20th is International Geocaching Day, International Homeless Animals Day, International Tongue Twister Day, National Radio Day, Sand Castle Day, and World/National Honeybee Day, Saturday. And then Sunday, August 21st, is Brazilian Blowout Day. I'm not sure what that is. It makes me smile, though, thinking what that could be. What is that? It's also National Spumani Day, Poets Day, and Senior Citizens Day.
There you go.
A lot of stuff going on this weekend, so I think you should celebrate with some poetry and some spumani. Isn't that like a champagne kind of thing? That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
I remember seeing that on a bottle or something. And it is National Radio Day, so you're celebrating the right way by listening to us on the radio. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Email marketing is affordable and a proven way to grow your business. If it's done right, you can stay in contact with your customers to let them know when you have new things to offer. You stay in control the whole time, too. You decide when the messages are sent, and you decide what is being said. So you're constantly in control of your business image. You can do this, but don't try it on your own. Team up with one of the biggest names in email marketing, Constant Contact. Sign up for a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. Sign up now at radiosavings.com.
And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio. I've got some images here that you need to see in order to believe. So for those of you who are on Facebook, you're going to want to go to facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. I'll wait here while you do that. Okay, no, I won't. I'll read the story to you. But in order to fully appreciate this story, you should really check out that page because there's a funny story here about a woman who's she had a terribly horrifying experience in her shower. For some people, spotting a bug in the shower is no big deal. As long as everyone keeps their distance, bugs can shower right along with you. But for others who have a fear of creepy crawlers, seeing a bug in such a vulnerable situation is the worst possible scenario. A Reddit user named Letter10 has a girlfriend who has a fear of insects. Well, this last Wednesday, he discovered a note that was left by his significant other recounting the terror that occurred while he was fast asleep. Have you seen this image?
I don't think so.
Let me explain to you what it is, and then everybody that wants to see it, you can go check it out. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. It says, "My dearest babe, I almost had an episode in the shower this morning. It took everything I had to not run and scream and wake you up, but there was a bug in the shower. I moved my shampoo bottle, and there it was, still there because I had to act fast to kill it. I drowned it in the shampoo. I didn't know what else to do. It was something like this." And then she drew a picture of the. If that's what this bug looks like, you guys might need to call an exterminator, or maybe I don't know whoever deals with aliens, because this is one scary looking bug. Anyway, she thinks it might have been a shapeshifter. She says so. All kinds of funny stuff on there. If you get a chance, I encourage you to check out Facebook.com.
Duel. He's the lead singer of a band. He's really he's a manly
Rockstar
man.
guy,
He's a
yeah.
rock star guy. He had a bat in the shower with him the other day. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, he freaked.
Did he mean to have a bat in the shower?
No,
He
was taking a shower as I looked up and he's looking at me. He said, "I've never run so fast in my life."
Oh, that's funny stuff right there. Well, this lady had a bug. He had a bat. You can see an image of the bug. I don't have any images of the bat, but you can check that out at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Polish authorities have arrested an 80-year-old woman who admittedly drugged her dates and stole their money. She met her victims through the Lonely Hearts advertisements in newspapers. She drugged them and stole their dough.
Aww.
She's 80 years old. You wouldn't expect that. Now, I also have another story that I have to throw in right here because not all old women are bad people. Take a listen to this story.
Well, of course not.
A 102-year-old woman in South Carolina says her daily 4 o'clock routine has helped her reach her grand old age of 102. Mildred Bowers turns 103 later this month, and she told anyone looking to match her time on Earth, you need to wake up and have a beer. She says this has been going on for years, and it helps her keep feeling fit and young. She enjoys a 4 o'clock beer every morning at her assisted living facility
4 a.m.
and cites that as a critical part of her longevity. So there you go.
That's the last thing I want first thing in the morning.
There you go. Well, maybe that's when she's going to bed. Is at
4
4
p.m.
o'clock in the morning.
Maybe I could plan on a beer every day.
Yeah, maybe she's going to bed at 4 a.m. Who knows? 102-year-old woman.
Crazy.
Anyway, so we had one little old lady in her 80s that's drugging people, and this other little old lady who's drinking beer, and I thought, I'm going to put them both in our brain on drugs. So there you go. Fun stuff. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
A man was stunned by his tax letter. Take a listen to this for a moment of duh. A guy in the UK got a nasty surprise in the mail when he opened a letter claiming that he could owe $18 trillion in taxes.
Oh, good Lord.
Giles Hemborough, a railway signal tester, says the letter read, and I quote, "We think the amount you owe, $18 trillion. We will let you know if this amount is right when we look at your tax return for the year." End quote.
Oh, my goodness.
They had to have either somebody with a sense of humor or somebody that didn't know what they were doing with the calculator on that one. $18 trillion?
There's
That's
no
what he
way.
owes? How much does this dude make? Maybe I need to get a job as a railway signal tester. All I know is that's kind of funny. And I can't even imagine how you would feel getting a letter like that. Because I remember one time we got a bill for a cell phone that was like over $1,000. We're like, what happened here?
That was insane.
And it was something that a device had been misplaced or stolen or whatever, and somebody was utilizing all the data on this thing. So I remember getting that going, what in the world did we do?
Right.
And thank goodness they worked with us and didn't charge us for it. But this guy, $18 trillion, that's a whole lot more. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day that's on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Would you use a chork, Heidi?
A chork.
Yeah, a chork is a combination of chopsticks and a fork. Imagine a plastic fork, but the handle split down the middle, separated enough to act like chopsticks. Fork on one end, chopsticks on the other end.
Why would you need that?
Panda Express is considering the chork. You can see an image at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. You don't think that's a good thing?
No, I wouldn't use
I
that.
think it's I would more like, I think maybe I would rather have a chun, chopsticks and a spoon. You know, is that a thing? If
That would
not,
make more sense.
I think so, too.
Because Chinese food, you have this like egg
Those
drop
things that
soup
you need to,
and stuff,
slurp
so
it up.
you need a spoon
So maybe it could be
and pudding.
what would
So I'd
you
use
call
a
it?
chun.
A chun-ork. I don't know, like a chopstick spork. Maybe that's what they
It'd
need to
just be a
make.
chick.
A chick. I don't know what it would be called. Let's just quit coming up with names before we get in trouble. All right, surgeons return a book a decade late. A Florida doctor returned a long overdue book that he checked out from a West Virginia library in the mid-1970s. Dr. Michael Kelly checked out So You Want to Be a Doctor from the Kanawha County Library. Kelly is now a successful plastic surgeon in Miami. That's really cool. He recently found this book on a bookshelf at his home, and he said, wait a minute, that's not mine. He returned the book along with a $500 check to show his gratitude for his success. That's really cool.
That was cool.
So back in the 70s, he checked out a book. So you want to be a doctor. Now the doctor is a doctor. And he returned that book. Are you still laughing about the whole... Okay, let's move on. An armed robbery at Detroit at a gas station has police and the victim scratching their heads there. They're trying to figure out what the heck happened. The thieves didn't take money. They stole 3 large boxes of honey buns.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow.
Armed men. 3 boxes of honey buns.
Hey, when you've got a craving, you've got a craving.
Apparently. I'm like, I need some honey buns, and I need them now. Italy might jail parents of vegan kids. A proposed law in Italy would put parents in jail for up to 6 years for imposing, quote, reckless and dangerous eating behavior, end quote, including veganism for anybody under the age of 17. Jokes aside, the woman behind the proposed law, a member of their parliament, Elvira Savano, argues that kids need iron and zinc and B12 and other vitamins that they cannot get from a vegan lifestyle or any other likewise inadequate diet. The proposal suggests parents be jailed for a year for a basic offense, longer if the child is under 3.
Personally, I don't have a problem with that.
Well, here's my problem. This is one of those things where if you think that the government should be able to raise your children, then you should be on board with this. But if you think that you should be able to raise your own children...
But that is a form of, I believe, of child abuse.
Well, then what happens if you only eat fast food and your kids eat unhealthy food like we have? Would that mean that we should go to jail too?
Well, no.
See, there you go. I kind of thought you might change your mind when we came up with a little scenario like that one. So, interesting stuff. That's happening in Italy, by the way.
But we make sure our kids get... I cook a lot at home.
Yeah, I know.
So they get homemade meals all the time.
It's good stuff.
So I'm making sure they get their vitamins and stuff through meat.
All right. Feeling lonely? Research suggests that you might want to reach out. Not only is loneliness an unpleasant condition, it can harm your immune system. Studies reveal that people who are lonely experience more reactivation of latent viruses in their system than people who are well connected. Lonely people are more likely than others to produce inflammatory compounds in response to stress as well, a factor implicated in heart disease and other chronic disorders. So bad news, if you're lonely, you might be seeing a doctor soon because, you can get sick a lot easier. So kind of scary. Coming up, we've got your second scoop, and today it's all about the Olympics because we are wrapping up the Olympics this weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Whether you're following the election or not, you understand that it impacts you. And this will be a historic election. The mainstream media has their own spin on who's going to win, but PoliticalStorm.com lets you chime in. You can keep yelling at the TV if you want. See how that works out. Or truly voice your opinion and have it heard at PoliticalStorm.com. Be informed from several different sources all in one place. Watch videos, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials to engage your brain. You have a choice, and now you have a voice, too, at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your second scoop, and today, it's all about the Olympics. Do they have music like that at all?
I don't believe so.
I haven't watched the Olympics, but some Olympic trivia, Heidi. These are things I'm not going to ask you questions.
Yeah, I was going to say because I won't know any of this.
I'm not going to ask you a question. I'm just going to tell you things. These are very trivial little things that most people don't know. Like the 1900 Olympic Games have been dubbed the most bizarre games ever. It was so under-promoted as the Olympic Games, many of the people that won didn't even know that they were Olympians because they didn't really promote it as the Olympics. They called it something else, and they're like, so I'm an Olympian? This is the Olympics? Some of the events in the 1900 Games were poodle grooming, van driving, and kite flying.
I could probably do those things.
I could be an Olympian.
I could be an Olympian.
In the 1900 Olympics, live pigeon shooting appeared, and that was the only time that ever happened, and that was in Paris. Nearly 300 birds were killed in a very bloody spectacle. Today, they shoot clay targets, but I guess that was a pretty messy thing over there in Paris. The 1900 Olympics had obstacle course swimming. The competitors had to climb over a pole, then scramble over a row of boats, and then swim under another row of boats. So that sounds less like the Olympics and more like somebody trying to flee the police or something.
Right.
Underwater swimming was also held in the 1900 Olympics. The event is held over a maximum of 60 meters, where competitors were awarded 2 points for each meter that they could swim underwater and 1 point for each second that they stayed underwater. Now let's move on to the 1912 Olympics. Somebody actually won.
Are we going to go through like every?
No, this
year?
is just
Okay.
some really noteworthy things. All of those, did you not find that interesting?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You want to just go fetch some coffee or something while I'm going to finish this up here. Some of us are working today. In 1912, somebody actually won an Olympic gold medal in painting. Yeah.
Oh, I could do that.
That was an Olympic sport. Something else from the 1900 Olympics. Tug of war was one of the events. It was discontinued in 1920. Roller hockey, unlike its cousin ice hockey, failed to capture the imagination. It was at the Olympics just once in 1992. So roller hockey did not last. Before there was fencing, there was the French martial art la canne. The sport first appeared in 1924 at the Paris Olympics. Much like the name suggests, it involves battling with wooden canes. So la canne means the cane. So they were smacking each other with wooden canes at the Olympics.
All right.
Rope climbing was dropped from the Olympics in 1932. Contestants would climb a rope. They had to do it barehanded. Club swinging first appeared in the 1904 St. Louis Olympics. It involved athletes twirling clubs. Many historians, by the way, believe this is the precursor to rhythmic gymnastic events that use ribbons and hoops. Because back then they would twirl around with a club, and now it's got, stuff on it.
What was that?
I'm twirling like him. This is quite the movement I got going here.
This really is.
Race walkers must have 1 foot on the
This is why
ground.
we need a studio cam.
No, we don't. Race walkers must have 1 foot on the ground at all times or risk disqualification. So there's no race hopping back in the days they did that. Solo synchronized swimming. It's kind of an
Solo synchronized.
Yeah, it's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it?
What are they synchronized with?
Solo, I don't know. It was made an Olympic sport in 1984. It was discontinued in 1992. So they had
Lasted quite a while.
solo synchronized swimming, which, again, doesn't really sound like a thing to me. And then this last thing, this is the last thing we're going to talk about, but it's going to take a moment to explain this. The pentathlon. Now, when you hear pentathlon, what do you think of?
I don't know.
You'd think that this is like a biathlon. Instead of 2, pent would be 5, right? So men began competing in the pentathlon in the year 1912. Women were inducted into the pentathlon, by the way, in the year 2000. The event's purported origin story involves a French cavalry officer, believe it or not, this is a true story, who had to beat the impossible odds to deliver a crucial message. So they were like reenacting that, like the Iditarod. They're reenacting delivering the medicine. So this pentathlon started out on horseback. Then he had to do some fencing, like sword fighting. Then he had to run. Then he had to swim, and then he had to shoot to get this, information to its intended recipient. So you fast forward to the present. In a single day, a pentathlon athlete. I made up a word there for a second. They must first fence all other opponents, then swim 200 meters, then ride on an unfamiliar horse that they don't own. So it's just a horse that's provided through
with no name.
a 12 went through a pentathlon on a horse with no name. Doesn't quite work. Anyway, they ride an unfamiliar horse through a 12-jump course, and then they pass through this rigorous test. They must proceed through a combined bout of running and shooting to finally get the gold. So is the running and shooting at the same time?
They don't still do this, right?
They do, I believe.
do?
I believe so.
Why isn't that one televised? I'd watch that.
I would watch that too. I would watch that on DVD. I mean, that just sounds like a massive mess waiting to happen.
Yeah, it
I'm gonna
does.
get on some strange horse, then I'm going to run and shoot at the same time. I don't know. If you're into the pentathlon, you'll have to let me know if it's as fun as it sounds. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that website is RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Mr. Peanut was invented by a school child. Yeah.
Oh.
In 1916, a Suffolk, Virginia school child won a design contest sponsored by Planters. Guess how much dough this kid won?
How much?
$5.
Aw.
It was in 1916. That's like $10 today. That's probably more like $50. But either way, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
A kid. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The duffel bags are named after a town of Duffel, Belgium, where they were very first made.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The word volt and voltage are named for a member of the Italian nobility named Count Voltman
Really?
from the 1700s. So there you go. So volt and voltage, you'd think that was like
He
Pauly.
probably had an electrifying personality.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and then Pauly Shore is probably like, he's voltage. Didn't he do like something that wasn't a very good Pauly Shore impression?
It was not.
For those
I don't
of you-
know what that was.
Don't know what that was either. Okay, and I'm almost done. Our final fun fact for you: the state of Florida is bigger than the country of England. So one state bigger than that whole darn country. That's kind of cool stuff. Couple of fun facts for you. By the way, for those of you who see the fun facts on our Facebook page, I had somebody asking why we quit using the images, and now it's just got a picture, a cartoon picture of us. I've been reading these stories about people getting in trouble for using copyrighted images, and I was like, oh, why would they do that? And I'm like, wait a minute, I wonder if I'm doing that. I'm going to quit doing that. So that's why those all went away. But we still have our fun facts at Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Email marketing is affordable and a proven way to grow your business. If it's done right, you can stay in contact with your customers to let them know when you have new things to offer. You stay in control the whole time, too. You decide when the messages are sent, and you decide what is being said. So you're constantly in control of your business image. You can do this, but don't try it on your own. Team up with one of the biggest names in email marketing, Constant Contact. Sign up for a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. Sign up now at radiosavings.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. No need to be hungry. The United Nations has a solution, disgusting as it may be. The UN is trying to promote their idea of combating world hunger by eating insects.
Yeah, I've heard that.
36 scientists from 15 nations suggested that the UN help promote small-scale insect ranches and then distribute recipes encouraging the harvesting of locusts and other insects to grind into a insect paste and then add those to food. Even the people involved, they're encouraging astronauts to raise bugs in space to eat rather than carrying meat with them. A Dutch entomologist known as Mr. Edible Insect blames Western disgust at eating bugs for the failure of aid agencies to incorporate insects into their mix, saying they are completely biased. So he's saying, you should be doing this. It's your fault that we're not doing this. So,
no.
yeah, that sounds, I'm going to just use, this is a really high scientific word, but that's really yucky. All right. Thanks for listening.
John and Heidi.
If you're in business, you need a website. Come on, it's 2016. Do you think this internet thing is not going to catch on? Many business owners that don't have a website think it's just too expensive. Well, now it's not. You can get a website for a few $100s, not thousands of dollars that are charged elsewhere. We can help you set up and design the site and then turn you loose to manage it, or we can help you manage the site for just a tiny bit more. Learn about this special radio offer right now at radiosavings.com. Get an extra $50 off if you sign up this month at radiosavings.com.
Getting a pet may actually help children with autism to develop social skills.
I've seen videos online of this. It's fascinating.
It says if the furry friend is brought into the home when the child is about 5 years old, that's the very best age, according to a new French study. Researchers found that children with autism who got a pet after the age of 5 showed improvement in their abilities to share with others and to offer comfort, whereas those who had a pet since they were born and those who never had a pet showed no such improvement. So they're saying it's best if they have a pet right around the age 5. So
Cool.
That's really cool. And I wonder why that is. It's just kind of an interesting age for that to be the case. And I don't know. Did you have a pet when you were 5?
Yes.
I wonder if I did. I think I did. I don't know. I don't remember when I was 5.
All right.
I don't remember when I was 35. All right. Coming up, we got some more research to talk about this weekend on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
I think I got some bad news for you, Heidi.
Uh-oh.
Research has found sitting for long periods of time could be bad for your health.
We know this.
Shocker. I mean, I thought for sure that was going to be the health tip of the week.
Yeah.
Even if you regularly exercise, they say sitting for a long period is still bad for you. Scientists are discovering that sitting for an extended period of time puts you at the risk for diabetes, heart disease, cancer, obesity, and even early death. Yikes. That escalated quickly. This has some medical experts calling for intermittent daily activities like stair climbing, and they think this should be prescribed along with the traditional call for regular physical exercise.
Office recess.
Yeah. Oh, we should have that right now.
We should.
Can we get out and run around the building or something?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I probably won't do that, but maybe we will. We'll see. We'll check back in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Whether you're following the election or not, you understand that it impacts you. And this will be a historic election. The mainstream media has their own spin on who's going to win, but PoliticalStorm.com lets you chime in. You can keep yelling at the TV if you want. See how that works out. Or truly voice your opinion and have it heard at PoliticalStorm.com. Be informed from several different sources all in one place. Watch videos, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials to engage your brain. You have a choice, and now you have a voice, too, at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
I'm out of breath just thinking about running around the building. We didn't really run around the building. Recent research has found that... No, sorry, we just talked about that. That was a whole sitting for a long... Recent research has found if John doesn't scroll down, I'll read the same story 2 times in a row. But other research is what we were talking about there. Evangelical Ray Comfort is declaring atheism is dead. And he's putting out a new film to say that. According to Charisma News, thousands have already purchased an early viewing of a 1-hour movie that its producers claim destroy atheism with one scientific question. They say the film, The Atheist Delusion, will be released on YouTube in just a few months. Comfort says the movie provides irrefutable scientific proof of the creator of those who will listen. It says he believes his film is the final nail in the coffin for atheism.
That's awesome.
So there you go. As a believer myself, I'm really glad to hear this, but I wonder what that question is and why they wouldn't have put that in the story.
We'll have to watch the film, I guess.
There you go. I would watch that. We watched a movie, God's Not Dead. That was a good movie. Mm-hmm. And then there was a new one that came out, God's Not Dead 2, and I really liked that as well. We watched the movie Woodlawn. That was fantastic.
Woodlawn was amazing.
It was amazing. We watched the movie Mom's Night Out. That was really good. So there's a
That
lot
one
of
was awesome.
there's a lot of great faith-based films that have been coming out lately, and it's really cool to see that. I think that is just absolutely awesome. So this one is called The Atheist Delusion, and again, he said you don't have to rush right out and see it because it's going to be on YouTube here in just a couple of months. So if you can be patient, you can do that, or if you can't be patient, go spend some money and see it. I wonder if it'll be in theaters. It's a 1-hour long movie. I've never seen a 1-hour movie in a theater.
Me either. That's interesting.
That'd be kind of cool. All right. Coming up, we've got some good news to share. That is on the way for the John and Heidi Show Weekend Edition.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news. Now, before we get to the good news, I got to say something. I have people ask every once in a while, why do you guys always end things with good news? Here's
you have
why.
people grumbling about
No,
ending
they're
the
not
show with
grumbling
good
about
news.
it, but they're like, oh, I just wonder why you do that. Why do you always have this good news, touchy-feely stuff?
Okay.
People like your dad. Oh, a bunch of wussy good news stuff. Well, it's because I always try to cheer people up, and I think this is pretty good stuff to cheer people up with. Take a listen to this story. This should make you smile. If it doesn't, maybe you don't have a heart under those rib cages that you're carrying around. But a little girl from England was all smiles last week after receiving a new best friend that looks like her. According to ABC News, 2-year-old, that's better. There's a comma there. I didn't see that. 2-year-old Harmony Rose Ivy Allen of Bath, this is over in England, was gifted an American Girl doll named Rebecca on July 31st. Like Harmony, Rebecca is a quadruple amputee.
Oh.
Harmony fell ill with meningitis B when she was 11 months old. Despite doctors giving her a less than 10% chance of survival, she persevered and made it. But Harmony had to have her arms and legs amputated due to illness.
Gosh.
And she was given a really cool gift, an American Doll girl that's got the same exact thing that she's got.
That's cool.
She's got this little doll. You can see the story from ABC News, not ABC News 2. that was me just overzealously reading beyond the comma. So you can check that out on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Also have a link, by the way, to the information about that movie we talked about a bit ago at facebook.com/John and Heidi
That should
Show.
be the name of your autobiography.
What's that?
Reading Beyond the Comma.
No, my autobiography, whatever you do call it, it should be misspelled and jumbled up. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.